Hello. All right, there is a question about the emotional authority, and I feel giving my answer that way. So first of all, let's look at a chart. Take mine. If this center, right, that is the emotional center. If that center is colored in, then this is always authority. The emotional authority is always giving the power to a chart. So even if the center is defined, so even if it's a sacral being or a non-sacral being, the moment the solar plex is defined, it's the inner authority. It will rule your decision-making process, because your body, your whole system is hardwired on a movement, internal movement, which is called the wave, and that is going up and down and up and down and up and down, and it never stops, right? There is a constant, it's a chemistry, and it's the chemistry that moves you always from hope to pain. Okay, so this is the inner authority. Inner authority and strategy are two major things that needs to be grasped to experiment with. As a projector, our strategy is to wait to be invited. So that's a kind of, I don't want to say come first, but it a kind of does, because if you are not invited for anything, your wave process will not get started. So this is something that needs to be understood. We are, as emotional beings, always ruled by the chemistry on a daily basis, if there is an invitation or not, right? So my chemistry, and so that's going now a bit further. There are different wave types, and I'm not going into that now. So that needs to be then as the next level understood, which wave type is yours. That's why it's so handy to have someone having a personal session with you to help you understand that. But the point is that all emotional defined people are hooked on that certain chemistry, which moves you in the day in a different way. You are not viewing the world always from the same angle, right? You view it from up the wave, and the world looks bright. The sun is shining. Even if it's raining, it doesn't matter. You are jumping and you are having fun, and you just feel it's easy. Even if you're in the mud, you know, you come out of that, there is hope. And in the moment you are down the wave, someone can you say you win in the lottery, and you say, and will that change my life? So the moment you're down the wave, you are just down the wave. You are in a pain of life. You are not really understanding life. You have no hope. It's a chemistry we always are ruled in. So even so, the individual wave will spike, and the collective will more like get steady and then crash. And the tribal wave is a kind of the most classic example of what a wave looks like, you know, going up and down and up and down. This is the reason why it says there is no truth in the now. Why? Because just look at a surfboat going on the ocean. I mean, if it's up the wave, it says, I see the horizon. And if it's down the wave, I mean nothing but water. So what's the truth? Both is the truth, right? And to get the truth behind only water and, oh, land is really close, right? The person will have to get, we will have to get through several times of ups and downs and feel us in these places. And by that we get a sensation of, yeah, there is a land and there is water and both is cool, and I have this and that. So that's the point now, where it's important to learn to distinguish. On a daily life, it doesn't matter where the land is and where not, right? Because there is no decision to make. I mean, the mind really thinks there is always a decision to do, when actually there is nothing for us projectors to decide until we are invited. I mean, that's the point. There is not much to decide. Still, you have a wavy movement. And if your definition is totally unconscious, then you might even don't have any access to your ups and downs, and all you have to learn is that you still have to wait. All right, so let's come to the moment that you indeed get an invitation. You know, Prince Charming is coming, I love you, I want to be with you, the perfect place comes to you, and you get the offer to move somewhere, the job comes, whatever it is, a big thing gets personally invited to you, not via a little note in the newspapers, I am looking for you. No, that will not work. That is generator style. No, we need an invitation, right? So you get invited, someone comes to you and says, I love you, sweetie, you are gorgeous, you are brilliant, you are excellent, I love you since all my life, you are it, I want to be with you. All right. Now it will start, or not, I come to that in a second, it will start another wave. This has nothing to do with your daily life wave, right? We emotional beings can have myriads of waves. I actually have to nearly every person in my life an own wave. And I have my wave. And I would get to every decision a wave, right? We are wavy beings. Everything which approaches us, we are processing in a way of a wave, and over time we are getting clear about it. We never know 100%. We never, there is no point for us in knowing 100%. It's always about getting clear. Right, so Prince Charming is there with a bunch of roses on the horse. It's gorgeous, it's brilliant. And now you can start noticing first, does there get a wave started or not? The thing is, it says about emotional people, be hard to get, right? What I discovered for myself, and as a projector, we have to be so super selective with people, that the first invitation I don't even notice. I often don't hear. I have a deaf channel, so that's really playing on my side. But the point is, it really can be that the first invitation doesn't actually start your wave, only makes your mind spin. So this is something you will have to, well, it was something I had to learn, you know, to really understand. Yeah, I mean, as a projector, our not self is, we want to have attention, we want to be recognized. I mean, we're all so desperate for recognition, you know, like, where is my invitation? And then it doesn't come, and then the mind wants to jump on everything. So that doesn't mean that your wave actually gets started, right? But what I discovered is that when the second invitation comes, I really can get the difference. So what I felt is good is, all right, the mind might jump in, the mind anyway jumps in. But what can happen is that you sleep on it, and you really discover on the next 2, 3, 4 days, nah. I mostly forget about it. I really forget about it. That's it. So then the invitation comes again, and guys, get the patience to let you get invited again. It is hard, especially at the beginning. It's damn hard because the mind is so desperate. And it doesn't feel like the mind. It's really a bit tricky at the beginning. It doesn't feel like the mind. It really feels for real. The mind is still so entangled in our body that we really believe it's true what the mind is saying. And what I see as well is, because the thing is with the emotional wave, it's really a kind of a very easy authority to have. But because this world is so conditioned to be a splenic manifester, you know, you always can say yes in the now or no in the now, and you can do it. that the idea that you need time is somehow not really. Even so, in some movies, sometimes people say, oh, I don't know, yeah, but you know, that's not normality that we get taught. Hey, sweetie, take your time. I'm coming back, no worries. You don't have to decide now. So this is the point we think, well, I did at the beginning. I didn't grasp my authority because I couldn't imagine that there is any other way to come to a yes and no beside having it clear in the now. You know, this kind of vision of having your intuition and your belly feeling and your guts are telling you all that stuff. It's so popular, and to understand that this just has nothing to do with you. That's for other guys. That's for all. That's just not for emotional defined people. That's not for us. It's not. No way. So, and at the beginning for me it was really like just a kind of somehow really, however, tricking me into experiencing this for one time, to get it time, to observe it. What happens if I'm not immediately answering? What's happening if I'm not, if I'm not jumping into stuff, if I wait? And what I discovered is that I really wasn't suddenly realizing the next day, oh, I'm not sure anymore about it. I don't know. The sentence, I don't know, is the most empowering sentence for an emotional being. It's so empowering. Try it. Use it. If you are not clear, just do it. Say it. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you can say it in a flirty way. You can say it in a defensive. You can say it in all ways. But you can say, I don't know yet. I'm not clear yet. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you are Prince Charming for me. I don't know. How should I know? I don't know. And then you see in any invitation if the other person is honoring your need for time or not. So what I discovered that anyway, when there are people who are pressuring me to decide, I mean, they're off the list immediately. I mean, my wave just, meanwhile I can say it, right? My wave just literally stops the moment anybody tries to pressure me into a decision. So that's the major bit to catch, right? You are hooked on a daily basis on a chemistry that anyway always moves your perspective in a way, even. You know, everything. You perceive life from different angles. That's why when we wait until we are clear, then we have such a kind of solidity in what we can share, because we have seen it from really many angles. You know, we have seen it when it really looked like there is no hope for that. And we have seen it when we have been on the race and we're like, wow, that's the glory. And we have seen any angles in between. And then at one point, when we have gone through that process and there was an invitation and it got repeated, there is this moment. And now again, depending on your type of the wave, it might be slightly different. What I'm sharing now is mainly for the tribal wave. I know it functions quite differently for the collective and for the individual wave. So again, here is someone really helpful who can help you with that. For the tribal wave, it's this, for me, this picture of a pendulum. You are just at plus 50% or at plus minus, at 50 minus. And this is, you can say with a certain confidence, yes, I'm going to do that. Even so, it's not optimal, but I'm going to do that. Or you say, no, I'm not going to do that. So there is a clearness that arises which your mind can't figure out. That's the whole point. Your mind in this whole time will torture you. I mean, it will torture you. Don't expect the mind to be on your side during your decision-making process as an emotional being. Don't expect it. I mean, at the beginning, I just can invite you to really with any kind of, I mean, like you would handle a drug addict, you know, tie yourself to the bed, put yourself a plaster on the mouth, just do anything to not immediately say yes or no. I mean, and over time when you realized that you can trust yourself, it's like a bit like walking on ice. Wow, it really holds you. The time will hold you. The time is your trust. The time is your eternal inner mountain that will always give you all solidity you need. But you have to give it the time. That's you. That's nobody else that will do that. You're gonna do that. You give yourself the time. Right, you sleep on this. You never ever, you write that in big letters on your wall. Never say immediately yes or no. Just never ever immediately. There is no way. I mean, you have tricks. Everybody has its own trick how you know how to stamp it on your face. I mean, get creative in that. And after you experience that a bit. And I mean, I did it in my daily talkings, you know, I mean, you don't have always an invitation to get a feedback to that. Just, I practiced a lot by talking to, and I'm still, hell, you all see it in my comments, I'm still 40% giving spontaneous answers, and believe me, I'm always regretting it. So to learn to, you know, that even in the talking, it will be different if you give a bit time in it. So time is your experimental tool. And anyway, just take it as your friend. Go with time on a treasure hunt and experiment with time, right? And just do that for a while. In any area of your life, just do that. And then when the invitation comes, there might be more confident in saying, I don't know. I remember at the beginning, I was so feeling uncomfortable to say, I don't know. And meanwhile, there is not even words coming anymore out of my mouth. You know, if someone says, which really rarely happens, but if someone says, you want to join me for a cup of coffee? I mean, I go like, as if I would know. Yeah, that's the point. I mean, allow it. Allow it that you don't know. And then after a while, I often, what I felt as a good trick working for me was that, you know, someone asks me something and I would ask something back. I would randomly talk about the weather and say, oh, that are nice shoes, or, you know, finding some connector, going to a cafe, and oh, you like that cafe? Really? Yes, it's nice, isn't it? Oh, and it has good bread and blah, just a little blah, 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 just letting, you know, it's just random background. And then I could, you know, for the really small invitations, I would then come just through a couple of minutes to say, oh, you know what, could we just talk a little later? Or I have the confidence to say, that sounds interesting, I will take my time with that. Or then the words would come, how to get myself more time, or how to say to a coffee like yes or no, right? So it's all about time. That was much longer than I wanted to get it, but on the other time, I don't want to pressure me here into anything. Was that clear in some bits? Did you got that? That it's really all about time. I think you got that. and that you have to everything your own way. So if you get 2 decisions to make or 3 decisions to make, that means you will have 3 different waves going on, right? That can be confusing. Oh yeah, that I haven't finished quite properly, I think. The mind is not on your side during the mind will pressure you to make a decision. The mind will come with arguments saying this is good and that is not good, and the mind will be getting creative into meditating the decision right ahead, right? It will take anything. I mean, I have 2 my both pressure centers, right? That is this and that are open. So I really, my mind sits there pressuring me into the decision. But now you must be clear, huh? I mean, come on, you can't, just because it's a cup of coffee, you can't wait for that so long, Dagmar. I mean, get yourself straight. You should know it. Are you clear? And actually, it's very disturbing, this mental chit-chat about the decision, because by this you are not aware of your wave. So the best advice I got from my analyst, and this is really a great one, if you get a true invitation, and you can feel how the anxiety level just explodes, and you're getting like, oh my god, I got an invitation, what should I do? Your mind will start an endless talk. Distract yourself, watch a movie, do the dishes, dig a hole in the garden, do anything but not think about the decision. Do anything but not think about the decision. That's really tough one, right? But it's actually possible. So I realized whenever I think still about a decision, it's not for me at all to say it's a yes or a no. So I really have to get the trick to stop thinking about the decision, and then I have a chance to become clear, right? To know what I'm clear about. And that's really working for me. And so yeah, get aware that your mind will stress you freakingly out in a decision process. Distract yourself and wait that the other come back. Prince Charming will, if he is the true Prince Charming, he will come back, and you not have to say, I wait for you, I'm still here. You don't have to give him signs. You don't have to nothing. He will come back. And if not, he's not for you. It's a beautiful authority. I love it. But it's, as a projector, you need to learn patience a lot, because you need to learn to wait for the invitation. But as an emotional projector, you really kind of need to learn double patience, right? Because even when the first invitation comes, you just notice your anxiety level rise and you put it in a folder far away, and you wait again for them to come. And if they do, and you notice your wave process going on, and you finally get it, you get to a yes, then you're gonna get to watch a very different movie than you have watched most of your life. Well, for me, it's like that. Alright, that was really long, and now, knowing when enough is enough, of course I don't. Now it's really time to say goodbye. I hope it helped any one of you, and I hope it was a kind of understandable. Bye.